Okay, I've got Oracle versus Matticus again on Death Aura, always with the Death Aura. Hopefully I've sorted out my screen resolution. Hopefully it's taking up the whole size of the screen and I'm in a little corner and it's all kind of tastefully high resolution, etc. I don't know what was going on earlier. Anyway, this is Oracle done in the bottom right of Death Aura, and Matticus playing Protoss up in the top left. So Matticus, we know he knows how to play StarCraft. He knows how to macro. Based on his last match, isn't really too familiar with the ins and outs of the different Protoss units and stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see how he gets on here. Oracle Dan again. Yeah, interested to see. I'm trying to remember what happened in Oracle's last game. Yeah, I think, and I can't. Yeah, let's see what goes on. Worker is going to come in, have a quick look. Going to see this spawning pool, and you know, for me, that's alarm bells. There's no hatchery. There is a spawning pool. There's no gas. I'm expecting 6 lings in my base very early, but as Matticus, I'm feeling okay about that. I mean, look where the gateway's at. Look at the wall that you've got going on here. There's a single hex that needs blocking. You know, I would have left the worker just patrolling here so that I know when the lings move out, because essentially I'm in great shape. I can just get a zealot out to fill this block, to block this gap, and I'm absolutely as good as gold, and that will just see off, you know, just so many lings. So it's double gas for Matticus. Nothing mining in those just yet. I imagine he'll remedy that before too long. And yeah, double gas, not that uncommon really for a Protoss to double up on the gas. It looks like Oracle is prepping to expo. There's some workers have been rallied down here, but nothing as yet. The Evo chamber up, but not researching anything. Doesn't really have enough gas just yet. And similarly, the pool up, but not researching anything. So, you know, if you do want +1 lings, obviously speed is the most important upgrade you can get for Zerglings. And it costs 100 gas. So actually, you do have to have a reasonable amount of gas mined before you're in a position to get both speed and +1. So arguably that early Evo is a little bit questionable. I'd have much preferred an earlier hatchery, much more useful. Other side of the map, look, the side core is finished, and that allows stuff like stalkers. We are going to see a stalker coming out to go behind this zealot. You know, so it would take a lot of lings to break this. That's not to say you can't break this with lings, you can, but it needs to be a proper flood of lings to break this. And even then, the Protoss has got things that they can do. They can drop things, buildings in behind this. Now, there has been a bit of a thing recently in the pro game where Zerg players send a flood of lings together with 6 workers, and the 6 workers can mineral walk. They can go underneath the zealot to get in the way of the units behind here, and essentially just prevent the probes from dropping any buildings to continue the wall off. I don't think we're going to see that probe drill in the EMS tournament, but it would be pretty cool. So speed is just about to finish up. There are quite a few lings here on the map already. Still some lings in production. Does that mean that Oracle's been skipping workers? Yes, it does. Only 12 mining minerals in the main, only 5 here. So, you know, if we look at the worker supply, Matticus is just miles ahead. So if Oracle does not get something substantial done with these lings, he's going to find himself very, very far behind. So these lings really have to get something done. And I'll be honest, it seems unlikely. You know, you need a world of lings to break. Oh my word! Oh, I say that. There's a gap. So the lings are going to get stuff done. Stalkers don't do well with lings once the lings have surrounded them. So I don't like the Lings to just stand fight. This running backward and forward against ranged units is terrible. And ultimately that is a bad miss micro on the part of Oracle, because look how many units have been damaged but none killed, literally none. So, well, one worker, I think that was the one that was in the middle of the map. So once he found that there was an opening, essentially what you do is you run right past all of that up into here and you just kill workers. Speedlings are so much faster than all of this stuff. They can be killing these workers for free until these units come up. And he didn't do that. Once he had the surround on the stalkers, he should have continued. I mean, look at this stalker. It was down to 24 health. All its shields were gone. You know, it was essentially one collective nibble away from death. But instead, he dithered and he moved back and forward, moved into the mineral line, damaged several workers, but then didn't finish them off, went back over to the stalkers. That whole time, the stalkers are ranged, they're shooting away at you. So it's essentially a disaster for Oracle. And as a result, Oracle is behind by 14 workers. Income is, you know, nowhere close to the Protoss income. As we can see, Protoss is getting about 800 minerals, maybe not quite, 600 minerals a minute more than the Zerg, and that's not how it's supposed to be. In addition to that, look, Protoss is building a third. As a Zerg, you should always aim to have one more base than your opponent as a minimum. So when your opponent's dropping their third, you should be dropping your fourth. So things not looking good here for Oracle. This number of Zerglings that he's got now is more like it. 28 Lings here could definitely get some hurt done, because look, the front door is wide open. So this little force here is actually not very good against Zergling. There's only 2 Zealots in the mix, sorry, 3. And you know, Zealots will trade well. 4 now, this is beginning to get a bit more like it. Stalkers don't do particularly well against Zerglings. Immortals don't do particularly well against Zerglings. You know, and yeah, there's micro tricks you can do if you're the Zerg player. You know, you run 3 Lings up just to nibble the Immortal and then run away, and you actually shift click the Immortals. 3 because, you know, these Stalkers will one-shot the first one in the face and overkill it. So you need like to be, you know, and then the Immortal is going to one-shot one of them or whatever. So 3 is probably the number you need to run up here and just nibble this Immortal, and that will trigger the barrier shield, and then you wait for the barrier shield to time out and you send the rest in, which in this case would be like 29 Lings, which would just surround all of this stuff and shred it. But the Stalker number is continuing to increase, the Immortal number is increasing, and the army supply is just so far ahead for Matticus, the worker supply is so far ahead for Matticus that he looks to be in great shape. Let's have a look at the upgrades. Only +1 armor for our Protoss. Meanwhile, it is 1-1. Oh no, it isn't. It's +1 melee, +1 missile attack for the Zerg, which is a bit weird. And actually +2 melee is just about to finish up. So the Ultra Den comes down, and you know, Ultras are expensive, and at present Oracle, you don't really have the income to be cranking out Ultras. I mean, as much as I love Ultras, they're an incredible unit. The Ultra is just an absolute, you know, it's a beast. But look, how are you going to afford them? You know, you've got a little bit of an income, but really you need 6 gas mining to have a hope really of affording Ultralisks. They are expensive. But with all of that said, he has got this very early hive, and that's allowing him to research adrenal glands for the Zerglings, and that makes a huge difference. They attack like, I don't know, 25%, 50% faster or something. They you know, they are then officially cracklings. I think to be cracklings they are supposed to be 3-3 maybe, I don't know. But with the adrenal glands, you know, Lings can decimate this army in handy order. There is Colossus range in production, but I don't see any Colossus in production, and those Colossus could be crucial because actually when it's a largely Ling army that you're up against, Colossus are intensely good. But this Protoss army is just huge. I just you know, I just can't see how the Zerg survives this, to be honest. You know, it's a fist-mounting power out damage output from this. There's 5 Immortals here just cranking out damage. The Colossus is going to come up the wrong side. It's not even going to matter. This Protoss army is just going to crush everything in its path. So it is in the end a bad beating. And where did it all go wrong? Well, there was the attempted sort of Ling breakthrough, and you know, the Lings did get in, they just didn't get the damage done, and the Zerg was just so far behind by that time. This Ultralisk, unfortunately, on a move command does nothing. This Ultralisk is going to do something similar, isn't even going to get a swipe off. No, not even a nom 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 for these poor Ultras. This Ultra, is it going to do the same thing? It is. So, very unfortunate bit of mismanagement here as well. You know, if these Ultras are rallied into the men, collect them and then set them in together, attacking, not just on a move command. It all got a bit nasty at the end, and that looked very, very one-sided. GG.